Hey, this is Eric with Bay Mountain Capital, baymountaincapital.com. And in today's video, we are going to jump in and talk about how we help protect you, the borrower. And that's really big for us because we want to ensure that you are successful. That way you come back over and over and over again, and we keep lending to you. And then the more and more you grow, the bigger portfolio is, and the more money we lend you, and everybody wins. So how do we protect you to make sure that you are jumping into an actual deal? Now, newsflash, right? Not all hard money lenders are the same. Right? You have some hard money lenders, and I'm not saying that's the most, there's very few, but some bad hard money lenders where, hey, they'll lend you the money, they know it's not a good deal, and their thing is like, hey, well, if you don't close on the deal, we'll foreclose on you, take the money back, make a little bit, and keep it moving, right? We don't want to do that because that is a short, first of all, it's wrong, but that is a short-sighted way to look at things, right? We want you to be successful, you grow, we grow that relationship for years to come. So how do we do that? How do we ensure that you are successful as much as we can as a lender? Well, for one, we do a thing called a feasibility study. Right, so that's a fancy word for saying, hey, we will actually look at your budget. Once it's all completed and we approve it and it's good, it's very specific line items, we'll make sure that Joe, who's our inspector, he'll come out, and Joe's well known in the San Antonio and Corpus Christi communities, and he will look at your budget line by line by line to say, yes, I agree, it should be about $30,000 to fix this thing up to make it at this level. Or he might say, you know what, at $30,000, yeah, well, you didn't add a 10% contingency fee. You didn't add in, for landscaping, hey, you forgot to add in the roof, right? That's an extra set because, hey, I'm a fellow investor. And the issue is with us being fellow investors, we, look at things through rose-colored glasses. Well, I could get it done for $30,000. Yeah, I'll put the roof on myself. I'll do this, I'll do that. And when you get in there, more often times than not, reality slaps you in the face, and now it's really 37 or 40 or 45 or sometimes 50, right? And that throws your whole budget off to one, you're not making any money, two, you're making very little, or the worst, number three, you're losing money. And we don't want that to happen. So Joe comes out, he'll double check your budget, make sure your numbers are good to go. So we do a feasibility study. The second thing we do, and this typically happens simultaneously, we do an after repaired value appraisal. So that simply means is we have select appraisers that we work with that they do specific ARV appraisals here in San Antonio and Austin and Corpus and all our markets. And they will look at your budget and say, yes, I agree if you put in granite countertops and you put new flooring and you expand to a second bathroom or put a carport or what have you, all new electrical, those things will raise the value. So once you sell it, it should really be worth, if you're projecting 160,000, 165, right? Sometimes investors, will pull some comps or get a realtor to pull comps, and the after repair value appraisal actually, instead of that 160, comes back a little bit higher. Or it could really shock you, but it comes in lower, right? So you might be, oh, it's 150, this is ridiculous. But it saves you time and headache and heartache because once you actually fix the property up, you're gonna have to get an appraisal anyway. So you want a professional appraiser to come in beforehand to do an ARV appraisal to make sure when you're done, it's projected to be what you think it's going to be and what you're praying is going to be so you can actually make money. All right, so those are the things. We make sure your budget is really good and very line itemed out. We make sure we do a feasibility study where Joe will come and look at your actual budget and make sure that you haven't missed anything. And then we do an ARV appraisal, after repair value appraisal, where the appraiser comes out, they'll look and say, yes, I agree. Once you put in these upgrades, this expansion, you're adding more square footage, you're changing out the roof, carport, all that stuff, because they have your completed approved budget, it will be worth X amount, right? And then of course you have people like me here on boots on the ground and that cover Corpus and San Antonio, Austin, that will help you, put your budget together, walk the properties with you, talk to you, answer questions, right? Crunch numbers and all that stuff to help you to make sure that you are going to be successful. Because once again, here at Bay Mountain Capital, we want to make sure that we grow that relationship so you come back and you're more successful, you bring in more deals, you need more funding, and then we all eat. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and until next time, see you on the other side.